Hi, welcome to the video on training methods. The objective of this video is to inform the students about various methods of training that are used in the organizations. So, we would be discussing various training methods such as lecture method, presentation method, simulation, role play, case study, etc. So let's start with lecture method. As you're aware, lecturing is a method of training in which a speaker is conveying the information or knowledge or message to a group of people by talking to them. And in the process of lecturing, the speaker can either use visual aids or even he can do the presentation or the lecture method without the visual aids. So lecture method is one of the very traditional methods of training, and this is most commonly used training method in almost all the organizations. So the lecture method, the problem with the lecture method is it allows limited participation by the audience, and there is a little interaction between the speaker and the listeners. Next one is the talk or presentation method. The name, presentation method, and the lecture method more or less are equally used in the training sector, but still there are few differences between the lecture and the presentation methods of training. As lecture method is also talking to the group of people, presentation or talk method is also similar to that. It is involving a speaker and a wider group of audience. But the difference between the lecture method and the presentation method is that under the presentation method, audience or the participants are having more involvement and interaction with the speaker. That means during the presentation, participants can interrupt the speakers by asking questions. If they have any doubts, they can stop the speaker and they can get their doubts clarified before the trainer goes further. Next one is the demonstration method. Demonstration, the word itself explains this training method. Demonstration means showing something. So, what is demonstration? When a trainer has audience actually performing a task by showing and explaining to them how to do a particular task. That is called a demonstration. For example, I'm giving you a training how to open a laptop. Then I would come to you with a laptop. Then I'll show you how am I opening the laptop step by step. Or I want to teach you how to make PowerPoint presentation. Then rather than talking to you that you have to follow this step and you have to follow that step, I would be more showing you while I'm doing this PowerPoint presentation. Clear? So during the demonstration, audience is encouraged to ask questions and get assistance. For example, in the demonstration method, the participants will also be doing something as the trainer is showing them how to do a particular task. So when they are doing something, if they are stuck, or if they are having any doubt in doing in a particular process, they can immediately ask the trainer or the speaker how to do this. Next one is the case study method. Case study method is a realistic presentation of a situation that has multiple viewpoints. Generally in the organizations, business organization, this case study method is also widely used. So case study methods are real things or the problems or cases that has happened in the same organization or in some other organization. So when I give you a case study of an organization, that is a description of a problem or a case in a particular organization, then you will be asked to go through the case and come up with the solution for the problems you identified in the case study. So case study method involves more reasoning, it involves more thinking from the participants, and this is more closely related to the realistic scenario because you are getting a case which has already happened in a similar organization. So participants will be asked, they will be requested to go through the case carefully and to come up with the solutions for the problems highlighted in the case study. So as each participant are coming up with different solutions, different viewpoints, you could see here it's a presentation of situation that has multiple viewpoints. Each participant will be coming up with different solutions and different viewpoints. So a case study can be presented orally or it can be given as a written document to the training participants. Role-playing method is one of most common methods of modern training. This is not very traditional mode of training. This is one of the latest trends in the training sector. So in this method, trainees act out parts in a realistic situation. To make this concept simple, I would give you an example. Imagine you are a fire warden. A fire warden is responsible for evacuating the buildings when there is a fire alarm. As you have seen in the colleges, whenever you have a fire drill, there will be some fire wardens with special uniform coming to each and every classrooms and offices and asking you to go out of the classroom because there is a fire alarm. So this is a training method for the fire wardens. So fire wardens are knowing their responsibilities, how to behave when there is a fire by acting in a realistic situation. So they are assuming that there is a fire and what they have to do when there is a fire. So now itself they are getting a realistic situation to act. So when a participants or trainers act out parts in an open-ended story intended to highlight conflicting viewpoints, this is called role-playing. Role-playing can also be, for example, if you're working in a human resource sector, human resource department of a company, you would be required to do some interviews, you would be required to do placement test, calling the staff members for the induction. All sorts of things will be responsibility of the human resource staff members in an organization. So if an organization wants to give you a training how to conduct the interview, rather than talking to you about that, rather than giving you some long list of policies and procedures, they will create a situation in which you would be required to act as a person who is really conducting an interview. You will be given an imaginary scenario under role-playing method. As the name itself shows, you are playing a role under this training method. Simulation method. Simulation method is also one of the modern training methods. This is gaining much popularity across the world, across the industries. So in this training method, an event is recreated that could happen in the future. For example, let's take a case of a construction industry. In a construction sector or in a site where a construction is happening, there are more likely that many accidents can happen. More likely that many materials will not come on time. So in a simulated environment, there will be special spaces allocated for this simulation. So this staff members working in that particular construction site would be given some situations, some realistic situations that may happen in the future. For example, suddenly one building can collapse. What the staff members have to do in that particular situation? You can speak to them. You have to do this step. You have to take that precautionary measure. You have to wear this safety equipment. You can talk to them before they come into the workplace. But that doesn't mean that when a situation really happens, staff members may not work that efficiently. They may not follow the procedures and the methods you are saying for their safety. So you create an accident somewhere in the site purposefully, and the staff members will have to do that. They'll have to evacuate the site. They'll have to take their precautionary measures on the site. So simulation is a method in which an event is recreated. Again, I can get you the example of the fire warden, fire drills. Why are we doing the fire drills? Because a fire can happen in the future. So when a fire happens, a real fire happens in the future, none of us should be harmed. None of us should not be, staying back in the building. So you are getting the training how to go out of the building, how to get the buildings being evacuated when there is a fire. So under simulation method, it's more like a hands-on training method. For example, here the examples are given like first aid emergency, fire drill, etc. I hope the different methods of training is clear to you. Thanks for watching. Have a good day.